Jazz and Beyond on 702 and Cape Talk with me, Notemba, where you come for the jazz, you stay for a good time. And it is that moment where we have the wonderful conversations that we have with some of the most incredible people in the music industry, in particular in jazz. And what's great about today's conversation is that I have two people who are fascinating individually, but also together they represent something quite rare in South African jazz, a marriage where artistry, where education, where composition production, and a family life have grown alongside one another for more than 2 decades, to be exact. And their story is not simply about music. It is about building a life around music. And I'm talking about Duduzi Mtshali, who was, popularly known as just Mdu Mtshali, as well as Mimi Mtshali. Welcome to both of you.
Hello, sis. Thank you so much for having us.
Assist Notemba, thank you for having us.
It is my pleasure. You know, before we started, as we were having a discussion, before we started recording, we were just talking about life and appreciation of life and being alive.
Yes.
And if the two of you were to maybe just take a sort of a measurement in scale of whether or not life has been good to you or not, what would you say?
Well, I would say I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah.
Mm.
God has been good, indeed.
Mm.
We are alive. We're healthy. Our children are healthy. We still have our gifts to share.
Yeah.
We have a warm blanket. We've got food to eat. We have a home that's just so homely and safe. I think that for me, that means more than anything.
Mm-hmm. And you, Mdu?
Yeah, I concur with Mimi there. I mean, life is precious, like we spoken earlier. Health-wise, we are fine. We're surviving. The music industry, has treated us so well. I would say also we've been lucky, been blessed to collaborate with so many artists and to produce the music that we've produced so far. So, I would say we are blessed and we are happy.
I mean, both of you have produced award-winning recordings. You
Yes.
have had performances, and especially the fact that they blend, the African heritage element with the contemporary jazz language. And something says that you're always constantly aware of being relevant. Is that intentional, or is Notemba just imagining things here?
Well, it is intentional. For me, specifically, I've been lucky to release my album last year,
Yeah.
Ukayamulawo. And it talks about mainly that addresses the issue of GBV, gender-based violence against women and children, which is, for me, it's a big issue. I don't know why they playing it down, or the government. I think it should, they should really have stricter laws about the GBV issue. So, and also, even now, as you can see in our continent, we need umlaw, the law more than ever right now, because a lot of things have been happening. So mainly surroundings, music. As a musician, I believe that when you release music, you must reflect the times that you live in. You don't just release music for the sake of, I want to be hip, I want to,
Yeah.
you must reflect the times, the community you're living amongst them, and convey a powerful message to the community. So in a way, I would say it's intentional.
And you, Mimi, I know you like to sing a lot about love. And I love myself. So I love that you love and sing about love. and love not just as romantic, but love of humanity,
Yeah.
you would say, ne?
Yeah, absolutely. Relevance, as you spoke about it earlier, definitely is at the top. As you say, yes, I love to sing about love, but I think that also as you grow, I also am delving more into that womanhood, the African womanhood, especially in this next third album. I also want to tell stories in a different kind of a way, because for me, the significance of being a woman in jazz plays a big role. As you spoke about the South African heritage, that's important that I always delve into that, because I believe that we're always standing on big shoulders. It's not just about us all the time. It's about the ones who came before us, and also thinking about holding the torch for the next generation. What are we building? What are we passing for the next generation? So it's always really intentional, about the storytelling, about the lived experiences, about what we're going through, the healing processes, the legacy that we want to live. It's definitely intentional.
And you were talking about your album Ukai Mulao, which you saying, where's the law? Why there's no accountability, so to speak. And you also just zooming in on how women are being treated, and what was it about that issue that really made you feel it's important, especially from a man saying it, that what was going on that you just thought, why is this being let, as you said, it's not being taken seriously, it's being just let, it's just like, another one, and then we'll wait for the next, and then we'll say something for 2 minutes and move on, kind of thing.
Yes.
Why does it touch you so deeply?
Mainly because, like I said before, the law, I think the judgments, I mean, when you open up a TV, for example, or social media, a 2-year-old has been raped and killed, a woman has been raped and killed all the time. In fact, every day. I mean, the states, it's every minute or every 2 minutes, someone is raped or killed, or mainly women. So that touched me a lot, because as a father, raising a girl, and just as a man, I feel it's my responsibility to talk about it, to say, men, we can do better. As a man, I believe we can do better. We can't treat our women and children like that. As men, we must stand up for our women and children, and we must show, we must be an example to our boys as well. Because I have a boy as well. I always teach him that you don't hit a girl, you don't beat up a woman.
Sure.
So it's a message I wanted to convey to men, but more specifically, that we can do better as men. So it touched me a lot, because like I said, social media, TV, around us, it's just hectic.
Yeah.
I think it's a very touching issue for me.
It makes me wonder, when these things happen myself, as to what kind of man would want to do that. And I ask myself, what kind of relationship either would that man have had with females
Yes, previously.
around them, for them to believe that
Yeah.
they are objects, or they are lower than humanity, that they can be treated in this. I mean, that's another conversation altogether.
Yes,
But
most
it
definitely.
does
It's a serious
tend
issue.
to
Yes.
make one wonder what it is
Upbringing, maybe, yes, you're right.
that
Yeah.
this hate against women, what brings it about that much. But we're not here about hate. We're here about love. and not just love, but just also the partnership that you two have. I mean, when you guys met, was it admiration for each other, or was it just simply white skin? this guy is so hot. Oh, Jesus, this woman is going to be my wife because I don't want anyone else next to this woman. How did you guys meet? Who
You
likes
want
to
to
tell?
take
All right.
Actually, who likes to tell the story, or who
Tells
tells
it
it?
better,
Who tells it better?
Dude doesn't like me to tell this story,
Hello?
but well, we have the same, well, similar background. You
Mm.
know, growing up at church,
Yeah.
and our love for music began at church. And how we met was that I was a choir master, you know, and I needed to work with the pianist. And Du was the pianist at the time, and that was in another region. So as I went there, you know, to put music together,
Yeah.
he was walking in the streets. You know, most of the time we went so posh, making a koi moto and stuff.
Of
you know.
course.
So he was carrying a keyboard coming from another worship revival
Session.
exactly. And then we met, and Shem, he greeted me so nicely. And I wasn't very nice to him, not knowing that he's the actual guy that I'm going to end up working with. Yeah. So when we got to the venue, I realized, oh shucks, this is the guy that I'm supposed to be working with.
That I was nasty too.
Yeah, I was nasty too. But then when we got the moment to actually sit down and work on the music, something sparked, you know, between the two of us. You know, I got to know him, and I was like, wow, actually, this guy's not so bad. You know, we have the same interest, you know, in terms
Yeah.
of musicians that we like. And the jazz aspect came out, you know. And that's how we began. You know, that's how it began for us.
Is
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
a
that's-
true
that's
a
true.
true reflection of,
Yes, yes.
of the incident?
Yeah.
And I know both of you, when you say you also come from the same background, that also includes obviously your musical, background, because you both went to Cape Town first, ne?
Yes.
You studied there, and then you went to Wits afterwards. You
Yes, I
got
was-
something at Wits,
yes.
and you just continued in Cape Town.
No, we
no?
actually both came back together at the same time.
Oh, so you were already an item by then?
Yes, but we didn't meet at university. We went
Yeah,
to
I
uni for-
know.
yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, when I came, we were an team by then. Yeah.
oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
But
So we came back, together.
so obviously you have been able to create music together. So when you create music, do you create as husband and wife, or as just professionals?
I
Or,
must say,
or
I
they
must say, that's
or
a-
they
that's a-
blend together?
sometimes they do blend, but I must say we try and differentiate or try to separate the husband and the working professional. It never works, but we try our best. But mostly when we work, I will normally come up with a song, the keyboards or piano, and they'll say, "Hey, come listen to this song. It's a nice, beautiful piece, or I have a melody. Can you put some lyrics?" Or sometimes she comes up with a melody. Say, "I have this melody," and it comes to me. Then I put up an arrangement.
Okay.
Yeah. So mostly musically, that's how we
So-
go about it.
So, do you have roles, or the roles interchange creatively, where one is, comes with the creative and vision, and the other one comes with the structure and the, or do you exchange those roles depending on whose idea it was?
I think that because of the deep respect that we have for both our crafts, we know, I know my role, and he kind of knows that he. There's the synergy that happens. Let me explain it this way. There's a telepathic synergy that happens.
That's
That
beautiful.
when I bring something or when he brings something, I know exactly how he wants it to sound. So we bring it to life, and he knows how to support my ideas, and I know how to support his ideas. So for me, it's that intimacy that allows us to be vulnerable, basically, with each other on and off stage. But we are very much aware that we are husband and wife, but when on stage and in the studio, we are aware that we are both professional artists that are really trying to get the best out of each other.
Just to add there on what Mimi said now, you asked a question earlier that how did we meet and stuff. When we met the first time, we spoke like we've met for more than 20 years. We sat down like even now. our friends will laugh at us and say, hey, you guys, you're always talking. What are you talking about? You're always talking. When I look at you, you're talking. So that's how we are. Before we are maybe lovers, maybe we're friends, best friends. She's my best friend. And I believe that, like you said, my path, when it crossed, when I met her, I believe she was the one. Right there
So
and then.
two souls meeting
Yeah.
at the right time.
Right.
At the right time. But do you have an argument maybe, when you're, in the studio, but then it actually results in something even better because of the argument kind of thing?
Yes, most definitely. She's very sensitive, so I have to be come up with that strategy how I address that issue. No, so you can sing, you can just pitch up, don't pitch, So I have to be very sensitive. But yeah, we do argue.
M2 is a perfectionist, eh? With me being sensitive, M2 is a perfectionist and it's hard on me at times, you know. So,
but I think that's good.
It is good. It is good.
In the sense that
It is
you
good.
both have the different strengths,
Yeah.
and you both understand your weaknesses, and you have accepted them, and you know how to accommodate them as
Yeah.
well
Yes.
with respect.
Yes. Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
that's what makes it even more beautiful. Have you both maybe written some music that is so personal that you haven't even released it because you were thinking, people are gonna think these two. Or maybe just something that you've put at the back, you're thinking it's not time for it yet to come out.
Yeah.
Either individually or as
Yeah.
as both of you.
Yes, absolutely. The music that I'm working on right now, I feel like I'm at that point in that stage where I'm confident with being vulnerable. It feels like I'm opening up a door, or I'm opening up an invitation. Into our home, into our life, into our partnership. So yeah, at first I was kind of feeling like, okay, maybe not too much, but now I feel like it's good. It's good to share. It's good to sing about these stories. Yeah.
And talk about vulnerability. Do you feel that you haven't been that vulnerable because you thought you were protecting something?
Yeah, that could be true. I was feeling like
Something about yourself, maybe, or something about your environment or your home or your marriage or something. That, sometimes because the world is evil out there. So you're thinking,
Yeah.
let me protect
Yes.
this. And then once you, I guess, maybe at the point you feel strong that even if anything attacks it, it'll still stand strong.
Yeah. Yeah. I am naturally an introvert, and I'm a very private person. Are you disagreeing? I see you disagreeing.
I'm just listening.
Okay. Naturally, I'm a very, very private person, and I think that's what made it hard for me. To put. I felt like I can't put my business out there. And yes, you want to protect your stuff. You want to protect your relationship. You don't want anything coming back to you in a way. But I feel like sharing about our stories, and sharing about love, or sharing about my private life is something that is of a celebration more than just opening up a certain door. And even if it doesn't stand strong, or it does stand strong, I've given it my all. And that gives me some kind of satisfaction.
Okay. And with you, too?
Yeah. Yes. So I think songwriting for me is one of my strongest. I'm very gifted in it, if I may say so myself.
Say it.
Yeah, producer. I have written songs for so many artists. So yeah, so I write about, like I said, a lot of stuff around me, but personally as well, I've got stuff that I've written currently. that I'm working on for the next projects.
Lovely.
So yeah, so hopefully people will get to hear and then and see, yeah, probably yeah, see what I'm about.
We're looking forward to it. And does that music, both of you working on, separately or together, does it also represent your growth and your understanding of just not yourselves but also of the worlds around you? Is it a growth process?
Yes, most definitely.
Musically, and okay,
Most definitely.
which is good, because
Yeah.
it's good to know when there's because today is not
Yeah.
like tomorrow,
Yeah.
and tomorrow
Yeah.
is not like
Yes.
the next day. So when there's growth, and it's very encouraging for everybody to see the growth and learnings and
Yes.
lessons that
Yes.
come from there. Is there a misconception about couples that work together? What because a lot of people, and
Yeah.
especially in the music,
Yes.
field, that a lot of people like, yo, kunzima, and obviously you guys have found a winning formula. What is the misconception that people have about a married couple working together? Or you can swap the question as what's great about it instead of
Yes.
misconception.
Well, I think mostly, like I said before we are a partnership in terms of work. We are best friends, so that helps us a lot. Being honest with each other, and when we're working together, we know that. Luckily, we like similar. In a way, we very what's the stuff we love. We love
The same
how can I-
things.
same things.
Yeah.
Individually. So yeah, so the music thing, like we said, I mean, it's been how many years now? We've been together, 26 years. So yeah, she just surprises me all the time, basically, with the music thing, because we keep on growing personally and as a couple as well, and trying to grow in the music industry. So I think mainly what I wouldn't say is a problem, but most couples, I think if that's the issue about understanding each other, spaces, giving each other spaces as well, and knowing what the other one wants, and then try and fulfill, your purpose as a couple. So, but yeah, to separate all those, to being a father, producer, musical director, it's all of them, yeah, you must know how to handle them in a way.
Yeah.
I've mastered that.
And obviously it also means you've mastered what is needed to protect
Yes.
the relationship, as in the marriage as well as the business partnership as well.
Yes.
Which I'm trying to get you to say things that people can take with but you have mentioned that there's the friendship, there's the respect,
Yes.
and the wanting the best for each other and support
Yes.
for each other. I would imagine those are the key things as well.
Yeah.
And you talk about being a father, and clearly your children have been teaching you something as you watch them grow as well. And what have they been teaching you, not only about themselves but also about you two as parents, and if any of that has overflown into your music and your creative space?
I think that having kids has taught me a lot about being patient. Time, you gotta let things just brew in their own time.
Yeah.
You can't rush the processes. In my music or in our music, I think that's one thing that I've learned. I don't rush the process anymore. I mean, it's been over 10 years now.
You got 2 albums.
Yes.
And yeah, man. What's the time?
Yes. I know.
No pressure.
I know.
Everything when it's ready.
I know. It's been over a decade and it's been long overdue.
Yeah.
And yes, absolutely. They've taught me that there's no need to rush. Don't rush your processes. Take your time with them, when the time is right, and then you can deliver something that you are happy about, and just to accept things, as they come in life, and make the best out of them.
Yeah.
That's also what my kids have taught us, I think,
Yeah.
So yeah, answering the question of staying for a long time, the wait is over, I know it's been 10 years. The album is coming out in a few weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
that quick. Okay.
Yes. It's in a mixing mastering process
Lovely.
now. So I am ready to give birth to my very personal third album. So yeah.
Has it got a title yet?
Whew, we're still debating that. Should I go for it? Yes. We're sitting on Ikaela.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I think says a lot
Yeah.
about
yeah.
what to expect.
Yes.
But musically, direction-wise, where is it going?
We always love to pay homage or be in that foundation of the South African jazz, absolutely,
Yeah.
but also expanding, on the contemporary, textures. That's what we love. And also, I think that I've experimented quite a lot on the vocal arrangements as well. That means I've taken some risks on that, which I'm very proud of myself about. And the storytelling as well, as we touched on earlier on, But in terms of the album theme, it's definitely about gratitude. It's definitely about African womanhood, and about healing. That's what this next album is about.
Wow, beautiful. Can't wait for Ekaya. Ne?
Ikaela.
Oh,
I
Ikaya.
also can't wait for you to
Ikaela.
hear. Yeah.
And do you, as a father, what have your kids
Yes.
sort of taught
Sure.
you?
Like I said earlier, in terms of the roles, you have to master them. For instance, with her, like I said, I'm a producer, husband, but with them, when I get home, I must be a father. I'm not a pianist, I'm not an arranger, I'm not a musician. I must be their father. They see a father in me. They don't see all those chords and songs and I'm on stage with who so and so. So it's important as a parent to adjust, with them. Like she said, you must be patient and give them time. I like to spend time with my kids, and I like to make time for my family as well, to say I want to spend time with them and understand them, get to understand them, because it's a boy and a girl. So it's different dynamics, but I try and understand them better. Yeah.
Yeah. Is your daughter daddy's girl?
Yes.
Oh,
She always
as
when I
you-
walk out of the house, you must see her. She's competing with her mom.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
all the time. So when I go out to buy stuff, she's the one. She's following me.
Yo.
I'm going with you.
So
So
because I know daughters become very jealous,
Yeah.
of their mothers. So when you are being, intimate
don't
with your
understand.
mother,
Yes.
she's like
Yeah.
no.
when I walk into the house, actually, she's the one who jumps first
Oh my
to
goodness.
hug me first before her mom,
And of
and
course,
she'll hold me for a minute.
Oh.
Her mom is watching, like I
just,
said. Yeah.
just to stamp her ground.
yes,
Yeah.
that-
I'm also here.
And the boys are very protective of
Yes.
their mothers.
yes,
ne?
yes.
I know the bond. I'm a mother of a son, so
Mm.
absolutely understand that. But I'm wondering what it's like in the house, especially when do you have a separate studio, or you have a piano at home and then you do a lot of spontaneous creativity there.
Yes, we do that. We have a piano at home,
Mm.
so normally we sing as well as a family. Sometimes, yeah. So that's where we work mostly.
Are your
the
kids
ideas.
going there in that
We're
direction?
trying not to. push them
Mimi's
to-
rolling her eyes.
We're trying to not to force them to. They love music, but we don't want to push them.
Yeah.
It must come naturally. So I don't want. Yeah, I mean, music business, as you know, is a very difficult industry. So
Mm.
we're trying to protect them as well. But if it's in God's plan, then we can't stop it.
Is there a season maybe that you've both that has been the hardest that you've survived together?
Musically,
Yes.
or okay, yeah. I think there's been a lot of that. Surviving or navigating the music industry itself.
Mm.
It's not easy. It's
Sure.
always tricky. Especially when you still want to be strong and stand your ground and still maintain that creative freedom. It's quite not easy, upholding your standards as a musician,
Mm.
but I think that we have managed to stay strong even during those seasons,
Mm.
because musically our country has just been at a state where I don't even know how to classify it. We've just been surviving,
Mm.
but now I feel like it's coming to a point where we are fiercely taking ownership,
Yeah.
as artists, of our power, of our music, but definitely we've been through tough seasons, economically wise, recording wise, where we had to think how we're going to balance the recording, because it's the recording. I mean, it's the business of music, it's the family life.
Mm.
It requires both of us, to be present, and
Mm.
everything comes out from the both of us, So to balance the love of music and the love of our family, it has not been an easy
An
task.
easy thing.
Yeah.
It's the strength of their relationship is what
Yes,
keeps
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure you'd agree with that. But I
Yes.
want to ask you to, because you compose, you arrange, you produce, you and do it for a lot of artists. Do you find more satisfaction in the work you do for other musicians when you see them grow and glow,
Yes.
as opposed to you personally performing for yourself? Where's the fulfillment for you
Sure.
at the most?
Yeah, for me, I think most importantly, I think I'm a giver. I like to share knowledge with everyone. So at the present moment, I'm also teaching as well. So I find satisfaction in seeing someone growing from not knowing how to play piano and to being a seasoned pianist. And I also, I like to see people grow in their crafts as musicians as well. So writing a song for I've written songs for many artists, like I said, so depending on the artist I'm working with. But yes, I all these specialties I have, songwriting, producing, performing live as well. I love all of them and I embrace them, depending what's happening at the time.
At
But
the
I embrace
time.
all of them equally so. So yeah.
I mean, you're such a brilliant pianist, and you've worked with these amazing musicians
Yes.
as well. Who do you listen to
As a pianist.
as a pianist that maybe when you listen to them, I still want to get there, I still want to sound something like that,
Yes.
I mean, even though at this moment I'm just thinking, where else can you go now? Who are the musicians that,
Yeah.
or maybe even inspire you to even think a little differently
Yes.
in your approach to the instrument and stuff like that?
I like the way you put it, to inspire me. I'll share a story just quickly. I met the late Bheki Mseleku, when I was very young. I was doing a play at Winnie Pro Theatre, Blue Monk. And he came in, they were supposed to rehearse there with the late Fitzroy, May his soul rest in peace.
May he so
Yeah,
his
so
peace.
they came in and then they wanted to check the piano out. And then I didn't know, I knew his name. I didn't know, it was the first time I met him. So Fitzroy, Fitzroy is like a funny character.
Yes.
He said, "Hey, Bheki, lenkwenkwe, lela iti mati udlala jazz, iti udlala umonk, udlala umonk." Mangithi, who's this guy? So I introduced her, this is Mr. Bheki Mseleku. I was like, oh, starstruck now.
Wow.
And I said, let's go check the piano out. We went into the theater. I mean, I sat there alone. It was dark. He was playing for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
non-stop.
That's a biggie kind
That
of
was a
biggie kind of
life-changing experience for me.
Wow.
That was life-changing. So that guy, Bheki Mseleku, even now, I think he's one of the greatest I've ever met. So it's him, yes, definitely. Begim Seleku, and Abdullah Ibrahim as well,
Sure.
the late Abdullah. And I brought, obviously, Monk,
Mm-hmm.
Art Tatum, Oscar Peterson, Herbie Hancock, Makoy Taylor. Yeah, those are the ones mostly.
Oh, lovely. And then Mimi, I know you know, your new album, Ikaya, is obviously, you say you became vulnerable and you started, you know, exploring yourself vocally in other directions. I am curious to hear what that sounds like. But who, like Mdu's question, you know, are you finding you're listening to because you are, you know, you're getting some, you know, inspiration in terms of maybe even making you want to see what more your voice can do and directions it can go.
Oh, my listening catalog is very wide because I listen to all different styles of music. But for instance, I've lately gone back to the earlier recordings of Umamleta. Yeah. Where she sings songs like Open Your Heart, you know, and I really am mesmerized, you know, at how she kind of attacked the songs, you know. You grab the phrasing with the Mamleta that is just so beautiful. You hear a little bit of a blues there and there where you think, wow, okay. And I'm giving myself time to kind of like go back, you know, and really listen to stuff that I didn't really listen to. You know, I've listened to the jazz, you know, to the Carmen McRae's and the Ella, but for me, there's something so significant, you know, with being able to blend our sound with global textures as well at the same time, you know. So it's that still Mamleta and Uma Miriam for me. I always admire the fact that she was brave enough to delve into different languages. That fascinates me, you know, because in that manner you are able to reach different parts of the world. You are able to connect because music helps us to connect with different cultures and different people without even understanding the language, you know. So that I absolutely admire, you know. And there's so much, you know, when you talk about soul. I mean, there's Lala Hathaway, you know. There's still Tanya Maria that I love in terms of the sketching, you know. So there's all of that different blending, genre blending that I love and am excited about.
Yeah, which is a great thing because I as I always say, we are not one thing. We are a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you embrace and celebrate those many aspects of who we are.
Absolutely.
You also teach and do workshops. And are you finding there's a hunger from the young people to learn and know more and do better? What what fulfillment do you get out of your sharing of your experience and talent?
I think I like how Mtu puts it when he says you it's so nice to see something that a clear canvas, you know, and you come in and you try and give it direction, you know, and you try and build the dream that they have, you know, in terms of their vocal sound and how they want to sound like. So yes, education has been a big part. You know, I feel like while teaching, I feel like I'm in a classroom as well. You know, I don't know if that makes any sense. You know,
I hear you.
I feel like I need to know certain things better first before I can explain them. So it's been a lesson for me as well as I work with my students, you know, the imparting, you know, and also I think there's also just this spark of young generation that is in love with jazz, you know, these days, you know, which is beautiful to watch and beautiful to see. So the education part has played tremendous part in my growth as well, you know, yeah, just being able to share my gift in a different kind of a way. Yeah.
Do you also teach as and also an educator? Are you finding that, especially with the young crop today, that they have maybe found the importance of celebrating the South African identity and the South African culture and history?
Yes.
Rather than wanting to be like Americans or
yes.
Europeans, or but
Mhm.
have they internalized who they
Mm.
are as Africans and South Africans, that's how they want to express themselves
Yes.
creatively and musically.
Yes, I think, like Mimi said, I always emphasize the fact that you must know where you come from to where
Mm.
you're going, So
Mm.
I normally tell them about South African piano players first.
Yeah.
So you must play this music first before you play your like a Monk or your Oscar
Mm-hmm.
Peterson. You must play Begim Selik, you must play Abdullah Ibrahim, so that
Mm.
you know your identity first. Then when
Mm.
you go out there, they can say that this is a South African piano player. They can tell. You don't sound like an American.
Mm.
Even though we're influenced, it's good to learn. Like you said, with the education, when I finished my matric,
Mm.
I didn't know anything about music, to study music. My parents were cross with me because I passed and then I got bursaries to study electrical engineering.
Mm.
And when I was there, I got bored. I left. I said, I quit, because it's not for me.
Sure.
My parents were crossed. But at the time, they didn't know anything about music. No one knew, like I said, with Begim Seleku, I knew the name, but I didn't know him personally and his music mostly. So, yeah, so it's important. I think it's important. For me, it was important to find out about South African music. And then that I grew an interest that I want to study
Mhm.
this thing. I want to know, like with Peggy playing that day, I was like, I want to study. I want to sound like that,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm.
So as much as we inspire them, we also teach them history. It's important to tell them about our history, South African history as well, where we come from. So I think most of them are embracing it. But as you know, the culture, others, they like the American culture. But most of them, the way I see it, they are embracing it and they're loving it. So I try and emphasize the fact that you must study your own first before you study the outsiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And besides, there's nothing wrong with
yes,
liking
of course.
whatever.
Mm.
Uh, but I find they always come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
True.
They
Yeah.
always come back
Yeah.
home
Yeah.
because there's nothing better than home.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if your grandchildren were to listen to your music in years to come, what would you tell them? What you're trying to say with your music?
Yeah, mostly for me, like I said, is conveying a message, and I
Mm.
was trying to address an issue at a particular time.
Yeah.
But mostly, yeah, expressing myself as a human being,
Mm.
because music is about expression as well. So I like them to know that my grandfather was not shy, or rather wanted to explore more into the music industry and into the music, and the music that he performed changed lives as well and inspired people. Yeah,
Mm.
so I think that's that.
Changing lives.
Mm.
Is there a dream that either both of you or even individually that keeps you awake? That something. If I can just do this, before me back. Yeah. If I got blessings, to do this before me back.
Mm.
What dream do you have?
I think, wow, that's a big question. With dreams in terms of music, for me, it's always about reaching as many masses as possible.
Mm.
Beyond music, I think there's an opening definitely now as us musicians reaching people, beyond education, orchestral work. It's something that I still envying, would love to explore. Collaborations, small collaborations. I think it's something
like with who, for instance?
Oh, right now in I think in South Africa.
Because sometimes when you speak,
when you put it out
when you
there, yeah.
speak it to the universe, the universe receives it and says, "Oh, now I know
Yes,
where I must
yes.
take you."
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, true.
Manje, my
Yeah.
hleli lana,
Yes, really, yeah.
you know.
Oh, right now here at home, well, South African, I'd love to collaborate with Mr. Jonathan Butler.
Okay.
That would be something I'd really love. Yeah, I admire him as a full musician who has been able to um, break boundaries. You know, vocally, you know, he's amazing. You know, and there's so many. I mean, vocalists like the young vocalists like Samara Joy. You know, I think they're absolutely exceptional. You know,
I hear you and
Yeah.
I feel you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so those are dreams that I pray about. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yes, yeah.
And when I'm too.
Yeah, for me, I think my dream, or rather, yeah, my wish is that the music I compose, so I put out there, like I said, changing people's lives and inspire people, and yeah, try and make a difference in this world and be a better person, and yeah.
You already are. You're making us ask questions. Okay, mulao, you know, and make us think. Are you though working on a new album, or you're not there yet? You're taking things as they go.
I am working with, I would say, a lot of projects
Okay.
that I want to put out there. I've like I said, I've composed a lot of music, so I have a lot of music to put out. But I would say for now, a lot of projects, different projects,
Different
with
projects with
artists.
different
Yes.
artists.
Yes.
Okay, I've got some quick fire questions for you now.
Okay.
Who apologizes first between the two of you?
I'm
Yeah.
the one.
Okay.
Do say something.
I don't know about this.
Oh,
No comment.
okay.
Who is more likely to forget an anniversary or an important day?
I think both of us, we never do. We never forget.
You
that.
don't
Yeah.
forget.
Yeah, we never forget that. Yeah.
Who rehearses more?
It's her. She's always on the piano at home, yeah.
She's always
Yeah.
rehearsing more.
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I'm always inspired.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'm always inspired, and I feel like there's always something new that I can do. You know,
I thought
there's-
he was the perfectionist. Who is the one who is stricter with the band?
Definitely me.
Do is more stricter.
Okay. Are you more relaxed and
I'm always calm.
okay?
I try to be. Yeah.
And who takes longer to get ready?
Ooh.
Well, that's an easy one. I think we know the answer there.
Okay. I think we can deduce from that.
Yeah.
That is you, me.
Yeah, it's me. It's me.
What's the favorite song you two have performed together,
Sure.
or that you love to perform together?
Yo, there's so many. But
So
yeah.
many. But one of our favorite common composer is Mr. Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
If It's Magic.
Oh, that's a beautiful
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
special song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mimi, one word that describes Mdu.
Outstanding.
Mdu, one word that describes Mimi.
Loving.
Oh, that's so sweet. What's the one lesson that this marriage has taught you?
Sure. So it has taught me so many things about me personally, things I didn't know about myself. You know, because you discover that, hey, there's things I didn't know about myself when you're with other people, especially with your partner. And yeah, so you know, there's abantu bayashintsha njalo. So yeah, but I'm hoping that I change for the better, to be a better husband and better father. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it just taught me to be a better father and a better husband or better human being.
Mimi, what has.
I love that. You know, taught you to be a better human being. I think that's what it did for me too. And it taught me how to love, you know, unconditionally, and to love without holding back, you know, to give everything that you've got, you know. This marriage taught me that it's either all or nothing. Yeah.
I think it also makes me think about the effect that as human beings, we think this is the kind of person that I am, And then as time, age, life, and experience, comes at us, we develop new skills of addressing life,
Yeah.
and that changes who we are.
Yeah.
And I would believe that in a couple situation or marriage is seeing that growth and that
Yeah.
change and accepting it rather than umimi akusulo mimi that I met back in 20 years ago,
Yeah.
Yes.
and accepting that she needs the space to grow
Yes.
and change, for the better, hopefully.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Most definitely.
and
yeah.
and the same with you. You'd both agree with that it's the importance of accepting this
Yes.
change and this growth, because humans grow and change because of the growth.
That's true. Yeah,
Mm.
I totally agree that in marriages, you are individuals, but you're also one unit that is evolving. You know,
Mm.
and the main idea for me is that you evolve with each other. You help each other get better.
Exactly.
The whole idea for me is that you get better in this marriage and not worse. You know,
Mm.
so we help each other every day to get better at who we are and how and who we want to be as a unit, in totality.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I like what Mdu had said, because he's also loving who he has become,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
because of this union.
Mm.
Yo. I'm so jealous.
Just to add on that as well, Mimi
Yeah.
has said. I mean, she, like I said, she's very sensitive. You know, even with our children, we see that with our children as well. You know, our boy is 13-year-old now.
Yeah.
He's changing a lot. And she always comes to me, hey, we are Shincha Lumfana. Can you talk to him? No, leave him. I'm sure as a mother of a boy, you
Yeah.
understand. So changes, we all changing in the space. We try to find each other. So yeah, I mean, we change for the better, like I said. Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. Okay, one lesson that jazz has taught you. What has jazz taught you?
Sure. For me, discipline, to be grounded, because each is so grounded. Cool. The more you think you know, the more you don't know. You're always learning. So to keep you grounded, it will to be a better human being. I think for me, it's to treat other people and see other people as and treat other people better as well. Yeah. So it has taught me a lot, but I think that's mostly that.
And
To
you
be humble and grounded.
and you, Mimi?
Consistency, vulnerability. It has taught me resilience. It has taught me that this is our sound. It's who we are. Ultimately. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I would add, because that's what it has taught me, is the freedom to be open-minded.
Mm.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it also comes in there. Okay, eating because I've got questions for Africa. Maybe my last question is to both of you. What do audiences not know or get to see about the side of Mdu that we don't get to see?
Mdu loves to dance.
These are the ones I want.
Yeah, Mdu loves to dance. And I say, you must dance. And he says, no, I'm dancing just for you, privately for you.
I'm not a good dancer, so that's why I dance for her.
The thing is, we are the ones to judge whether
No,
we are
you
good
don't know.
or
You
not.
don't know. When we grew up, I wanted to be a pantsula dancer as well.
Really?
But my brothers and my cousins were good. So I'm like, I'm a moves down Bambi guy. So I was like, hey guys, this is not for me. And they'll force me to come in, but I was like, no. So from there I knew I'm not a good dancer. So that's what I'm saying. But yeah, I like to dance a lot.
And what do we not know or get to see about Mimi as well?
She loves to dance as well.
Mm.
Sure, so many. Yeah, but she's a very private and, like you said, very private person, and she likes her own space as well. you know, Mimi can sit alone the whole day. I think I like my space. I want to sit alone. And yeah, she's an introvert. If you had the true way of true sense of introvert. Yeah, she's very private, very, very private.
But
Yeah.
do you find that her being private and wanting her space to herself has taught you something?
Yes, I think we're more or less the same in a way.
Okay.
And that's in that space. But like she said, you know, you become patient. We learn about each other. We learn about each other, what other party likes or wants. But she's a loving person, that I can say, and a good cook as well.
That helps.
Yes, of course.
And that adds. Oh, what a beautiful story you two have. And I really just want to wish you all the blessings and
Thank you.
all the best. And I so look forward to your new album, Mimi. And may also your dreams that are not yet fulfilled do come to light.
Thank you.
Because you are carrying a gold mine of talent and creativity that needs, as you like to say, to be shared
Yes.
with everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Jazz and Beyond.
Thanks so much for having
I don't
us.
know what else to say, but to say thank you for sharing who you are, and I hope it inspires others not only to understand and also find the love within themselves to share with those who love them just as you do love your music and each other.
Thank you, sis. Nathi siyabonga kakhulu for inviting us, for having us, and for the continued support, you know, within just the community of jazz and music as a whole. We appreciate it so much.
It's my pleasure. By the way, you guys were the first to perform on this show when it started.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember
yes,
that?
yes.
Yeah.
Special,
When we
special
had the-
moments indeed, yes.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sis November, and to Jazz and Beyond. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
having us.
My pleasure.
Come for the jazz and stay for the good times
On Jazz and Beyond with Notemba Madumo.
on 702 and Cape Talk.